What's going on YouTube? OCD Free DC here, and what I got for your face balls today is some new acquisitions. Just going to show off pretty quickly some new stuff that came in this week. Got some cool stuff, got some interesting things. So let's just jump into it. First thing, got this little guy right here. And for those that don't know what this is, this happens to be the Manly Knives Drugger. This one is rocking CPM 154 blade steel and a pretty fantastic blade shape. And handle on this one is black G10. You can see you got full through tang construction. Actually has the Manly written right there on the tang, so you do have kind of a pommel sticking out of the end there. This is a little bit larger fixed blade. Got some nice jimping here, but honestly this jimping, it looks fairly deep, but it's actually very smooth, so you really have to push into it hard to be meaningful. However, the jimping up on the top, even though it looks the same, is a little bit more aggressive, so they've just kind of sanded this jimping down slightly. But yeah, very comfortable in hand. Got a really nice kind of swells out here in the center. Just a really nice fixed blade. And just for reference here, we're looking at about 4.25 inches of blade. So overall length, let's see what we got here. So yeah, about 9 1/8 to the end of the pommel. So not a tiny knife by any means. I do have a scale sitting here. Let's get a weight on this guy real quick. So 5.68 ounces. Actually, I thought it was going to be a little heavier than that. This does have a 4mm blade stock, so you do have 4mm tang going all the way through. But really a gorgeous knife, real tall flat grind, and true to form with Manly. Very thin behind the edge for what this blade is. It is a little over an inch tall in this dimension here. I think it's about 30 millimeters at its highest point. So it's going to be like an inch and a quarter. I guess I do have my calipers right here. So not quite an inch and a quarter. About an inch and an eighth. So yeah, pretty cool fixed blade, and it does come with this Kydex sheath. It does just have a belt loop. It doesn't come with a tech lock or anything like that, and I just put it on there real quick just to keep it all together. I'm not quite sure how I'll carry this, but definitely a cool fixed blade. Spine on this thing is sharp enough to strike a fire steel, but yeah, once I get some use on this thing, we'll kind of revisit it and check it out. You do have a lanyard hole there in the back. And on this side of the blade, it does say Wagner. So you've got Wagner on this side, which I'm not even sure exactly what Wagner is. I think based off of the paperwork that came with it, it looks like Wagner may be the parent company of Manly or something. I'm not sure. But then on this side, you just have the Drugger CPM 154. So pretty clean blade in that regard. And I do have the box. It just comes in a plain cardboard box here, but this is the card that it came with. And you can see there, it says Manly, Bulgaria there, but it says Drugger by Wagner. So I'm not really sure what the Wagner is, but you can see all the choices that are here, and you can see the dimensions. And then you've got warranty info on the back here. So, interesting knife. Certainly very comfortable and ergonomic in hand. So that is one knife that I got. And then I actually got a pair of knives from Mr. Dave Warren at Tuyaknife. So this here is the Tuyaknife Cebu, and This one is rocking D2 blade steel. Pretty cool knife. You do have contoured G10 scales. You got a titanium anodized backspacer along with a titanium pocket clip. And you also have titanium hardware and a pivot collar here, which is kind of interesting. You can see the chamfering around that opening hole. So this thing, if I do it correctly, you can spidey flick this guy. This knife is riding on dual row ceramic bearings, so action is quite good. And really, I just like the Cebu all the way around. The design is good, action's fantastic. Yeah, just a great knife, you know, just a nice G10 D2 flipper. Pretty cool knife. They offer it in several different colors. So Dave was generous enough to get me a couple of these guys for testing. I did. They weren't just given to me, but I do have them in for testing, so that's great. And this here is the Tailsman. So again, orange G10. You got stainless steel liners, so this one here is quite a bit heavier. And this one is rocking AUS 10. So I'm pretty excited to do some cut testing with this one. And this also is riding on bearings, but it's single row bearings. Real quick here, we'll do a little size comparison just to show you that both of these knives are pretty good size knives. So what I've got laying here is, that is the Spyderco Sage 5 lightweight. And here they are against the Benchmade Bug Out. So we'll try to line up the pivots here. So there you go. You can see the Cebu and the Tailsman are both pretty good size knives. So, all right. And then I got one more knife. And came in this packaging right here. So generally don't do a lot of unboxings, but we're going to get into this one. Get a Tailsman's got kind of a thicker blade, so just cutting the tape here on the end of this tube. I guess I could do that on screen. There we go. Man, that thing's stuck in there pretty good. There we go. So let's see what we're working with here. All right. Looks like that's all that's in the tube. As you can see, we got a Ferrum Forge box here. Pretty plain Jane box, really. Caution, this tool is sharp. Handle with care. Yeah, really plain Jane box. So not much for a unboxing experience here from the old Ferrum Forge. And it comes with a little, you know, like a glasses pouch. Got the Ferrum Forge logo there. And there it is. Ooh. Good Lord, knocking stuff all over the place here. All right. There is the knife. This happens to be the mini Archbishop. You can see there we've got a full, not 100% deep carry, but it is a deep carry clip. That's just a tiny bit going to stick out of your pocket. Looks like it's got good retention. You got carbon fiber scales over what I believe to be titanium liners. Centering looks right on. Pocket clip looks good. Looks like you got enough material under there. So let's go for the first flip. Action seems excellent. You do have a forward choil that's even big enough for my fat fingers. So this is a liner lock knife. And looks like the action is pretty good here, but just because of how late the blade, or how light the blade is, you know, it's not going to be any sort of a full shut type action. But let's get into some measurements here. You got 2.727 inches of total blade length there, with a cutting edge that's about 2.4 inches. And got a handle length, it's a pretty small knife, and a handle length of 3.59. It's going to be pretty thin. Yeah, 3.88. So definitely a thin little knife. Let's get a blade stock measurement on this guy. 117 thousandths. So definitely a small little knife. Let's get a weight on this guy. .327 ounces. So not too bad for the mini Archbishop. And just for a little size comparison here, there it is against the Benchmade Bug Out. So you can see we're a lot smaller than the Bug Out. And again, there it is against the Spyderco Sage 5 Lightweight. So definitely a small little knife, but a cool design. The Archbishop is definitely one of my favorite designs from Ferrum Forge, and definitely a cool look on this knife. You know, this is something that might fit in your watch pocket. Really thin, lightweight, got a nice gear pattern backspacer there that does sit just ever so slightly proud of the scales. You can see the hardware there. It looks like we've got T6, and you do have a captured pivot, Ferrum Forge logo, and that looks like a T8. Yeah, it looks T6 on the pocket clip. Pocket clip screw is recessed, which is nice. And let's see if we can get the old Spidey flick. Yep. It's a little small for my hands, but you can definitely flick it out there. And can you do the thumb? Yeah, I'm going to have to work on it a little bit here. It's definitely a small little knife, but you can absolutely do the Spidey flick. All right, well, seems pretty sharp, but we're about to find out, because I got one more addition here that I'm going to show off, and it is this guy right here. So for those that don't know, this is a sharpness tester, and this is from Edge on Up, I think, is the company that manufactures that sells the sharpness tester. This one here came from Sharpening Supplies, and really great guys over there. And yeah, so let's I got this all set up. Let's try this out real quick and see what the factory edge is like on this little Ferrum Forge here. So it's kind of hard to see on the screen, but that was 210 grams. So definitely not insanely sharp, but pretty sharp. You know, really anything under 200 is getting pretty sharp. This we'll see really quick here if this knife can. Oh yeah, so it's cutting arm hair, so it's sharp, but yeah, 210 grams on the sharpness tester. So this is a new addition to the channel, the sharpness tester, and I'm going to start integrating this into my cut test videos. So instead of using, you know, shaving arm hair as the threshold and cutting a held sheet of paper, where actually I'm going to do some testing and come up with the fine edge test results. So as you can see, at 210 grams, we're still shaving arm hair with this guy. So definitely going to come up with the, whatever the numbers are for fine edge and working edge. So we'll still give 2 test results, but it'll just be a little more accurate now that I have this. So super pumped about that. And I guess I didn't even mention this guy here is rocking there. You can see it right there. It's 9CR 18 MOV. So nicely done. Hopefully that steel will perform well. Definitely going to do some cut testing with this one. I'm also pretty interested to do the cut testing with this AUS 10 here. That's one that I've never tested before. So definitely excited to see what kind of edge retention the AUS 10 has. So anyway, that's what we had going on this week, and there's the new stuff that came in. So that's about all I had for your face balls today, guys. Thanks a lot, and we will catch you next time.